I have a steampunk design. I have an audiophile. Oh, the Jomo Audio Nautilus. Please comment if you understand that reference. What's up, everyone? It's me, your boy Joe, back again with another video, and this time we'll be looking at the Jomo Audio Nautilus. Now, the Jomo Audio is a really good boutique brand which will make bespoke IEMs, both universal as well as custom fitting IEMs. And I do have a review of the Jomo Audio Skyline linked down in the description below, which I've done on Head5. And along with that, we have the Jomo Audio Nautilus. So the Jomo Audio Nautilus is $800 as of the time of making this review video, and it's available in their website. Now, as you can see, the Nautilus, it has a wonderful design. It has the kind of steampunk look to it, and that is one of the striking features of the Nautilus. And we're going to be having a closer look at it. Let's begin. So spec-wise, the Jomo Audio Nautilus is having a 10mm dynamic driver, a 6mm planar driver, and it has two Sonian BCDs for the mid-range. Now this is different from BCDs, which is actually for the lower ends. In this case, we are using the Sonian BCDs or the bone conduction drivers for the mid-range. We'll see how this particular configuration goes in the sound impressions. So before we start anything, I would like to give a quick disclaimer that the Jomo Audio Nautilus is given to me by the Audio Geek group, so a huge shout out to them and thanks for allowing me to review this unit. All thoughts and opinions are my own. And as far as the review goes, I am given the Jomo Audio Nautilus along with its stock cable and no ear tips or packaging of the sort, not the stock packaging at least. I will not be commenting about them, and I'll be commenting only on the IEM and its performance alone. So in this video, sadly, we don't have any unboxing that I could show to you guys, but let's just begin. Let's just move on to the design. So starting off with, of course, the wonderful steampunk look of the Jomo Audio Nautilus. I will show you some pictures on the side so you can see what I'm looking at, but as far as it goes, it has a very, very beautiful mother of all pearl inlay that is inside, along with this kind of probably a kind of submarine vibe to it. It has those windows with that pearl inlay. It's chunky. It does have a very good weight to it. It is a kind of gold-plated brass finish. Even though it's on the heavier side, while wearing it, I actually don't feel that. So comfort-wise, it's wonderful. And we get to the cable. Now the cable is a nice thick braided cable, which is the stock cable of the Nautilus in fact. So it's really good. So from the IEM, you could see that we have a really good bolt-like looking chin slider which stays in place, very effective as well. It's something I really like about it. And from there we have the Y-split which has the branding on it, and from there we have this nice thick double braided cable which finishes up to a very good sturdy 4.4mm jack. There isn't much of a memory on this cable, but it is very supple. I really like it. It's not so stiff. I would call it a little on the stiff side, ever so little, but it doesn't have that much of a memory. So if you do keep it on the desk and if you listen to it, it's wonderful. It stays in place, and I really like how it doesn't spring up or anything. So that's a really good feature of this cable. I'm really in love with this cable. In terms of the ear tips, I have used the silicone ear tips that I got from the Volare set. It's pretty comfortable. I get a perfect seal and it's working well for it. I would say that if you want a good comfort, pretty much any kind of generic silicone ear tips should do the trick. I would think that most people might have some trouble since this is a shorter version of the nozzle. Since if you could see it in here, I would show an image as well. So the nozzle is on the shallow side. This might have issues with fit for some people. So if you want to have, let's say, some ear tips which are a little bit longer, then probably you could go for that. You'll have better fit for it. I would think that even the foam ear tips can do some justice on that front as well. Now it's time for the fit test. Here we go. Fit-wise, I would say that the Nautilus is super comfortable. Even though it looks on the heavy side, it has a very good weight distribution all around. And the cable's hook is really good. The hook is having that perfect blend of sturdy as well as flexibility for me, and it's bending really well around my ears. So you can see it like this. Here's the right side, and here's the left side. So it's a real looker. Of course, you'll get some heads turning and then asking you questions, but hey, that's what you're in for when you're entering this particular range. Enough said about the design aspects, let's move on to the sound impressions. While getting into the sound impressions, let's look at the frequency response graph of the Nautilus. As you can see, it is a super exciting graph. It's a V-shaped signature by all means. It has that really good sub bass along with very high sparkly trebles and very high vocal range as well. Now, this corresponds to having a very deep sub bass rumble that I am feeling with an okay sense of mids. But the top part, it is on borderline bright. It's kind of unforgiving in the top range. If you are treble
sensitive,
sorry about it, but it is borderline on the bright, harsh side, but it means that we have a very, very high sense of micro details and a high sense of clarity overall. Now, how does this translate to an overall hearing experience? We'll see on each of the songs, but I'll get to you on those details later. In terms of drivability, I do notice some characteristics, so I want to bring this out. I have tried this Jomo Audio Nautilus along with my Retro Nano. I even tried it along with my K11, and I've tried it with my Hibi R6 Pro 2 DAC. I see that the Jomo Audio Nautilus is pretty power hungry. If you give a really good power output to the Nautilus, you get good output quality in return. But suppose you use something of low power such as the Retro Nano, then you won't feel the full range of audio that you're supposed to listen to. So do keep that in mind when you are trying to use the Nautilus. Now, with all that said, time to move on to some sounds. Let's blast this with some audio and give you some feedback.
A few moments later.
So the first song that we're going to look at is Your Idol by the Saja Boys and a lot of other artists. Is one of the OST songs for the K-pop Demon Hunters. Saja Boys, assemble. So in this one, there's a really good sub bass line that comes in all throughout that gives a very good rumbling effect, and it's rendered really well with the Nautilus. And in here, the vocals are actually put forward and you really feel every single nook and cranny of the vocal. The hi-hats and the snares do come in. At least for me, it feels a little bit on the sharp side, but the overall enjoyment and the experience you're getting out of it is amazing. So I really like that particular aspect. It's a really good presentation. The drops are excellent. Each and individual instruments is clearly noted. The soundstage is wonderful. I feel the soundstage is almost holographic. It's really good in that aspect. The overall imaging is also very nice. So overall, really good presentation. So the next one that we're going to look at is Young Blood by 5 Seconds of Summer. In this one, there's a really good build-up that starts from a small, slow-moving song that builds up and up wonderful beats and melodies, and everything kicks in. And in this one, I feel like the clicks, the finger clicks that comes in, starts to get a little bit on the sharp side. So it's one of the things I feel on the Nautilus, that the air, the treble region is actually well on the bright end, but it also compensates that with all of the sub bass rumble that you are going to feel. So people who really want to have an exciting treble response along with the sub bass rumble would really benefit a lot from the Nautilus. But in the long run, I would think this will start to get a little fatiguing if you listen for a long session. So probably even for me, when I'm listening to the Nautilus for more than, let's say, 1.5 to 2 to 3 hours, you start to get the little fatigue going because of that very high frequency. The bass is really good, and once you feel every single instrument, it's really something that I enjoy. The male vocals, once again, is put forward nice and clear, and the individual instruments, I really like the electric guitar that moves on to the back when you're hitting the drops. So overall, really good, and I really liked it. So the last one that we're going to look at is You Are the Reason by Callum Scott. Now, in this one, I would say that it's wonderful. It's actually magical because there is no need for any of the very high frequency instruments. So the clarity, everything is beautifully renditioned. This one is in the form of string instruments, so I feel the layering and the soundstage. It feels so good with the Nautilus. The song itself is also a really wonderful song, very good song, and a personal favorite of mine. I really like the way that the strings really builds up to that climatic situation, and the overall feel, the rumble, everything is beautifully done in the Nautilus. I would say that the Nautilus is actually excelling really well when it comes to orchestra, because the strings, that mid-range, the kind of sub-bass light rumble, very controlled bass with rumble, none of them are overtaking anything. So it's something that I enjoyed a lot. So overall, great song and done beautifully well in the Nautilus. So what do I think of the overall for the Jomo Audio Nautilus? First off, it's a super looker. It has that mother of all pearl inlay, it has that steampunk design elements to it, and it has a really good cable to boot, and that really matches well with the Jomo Audio. A plus point is design. It's exciting. It has a very exciting V-shaped signature to it. It has a good amount of rumble, although to my aspect, when I was thinking of BCD level drivers, I was expecting that BCD to be guttural, rumbling feeling, but no, the BCDs were not used for the bass response. Instead, it was used for the mid levels. So in that, I feel like the mids are actually pretty lush, and it has that clarity, that richness to it. So that is something that I really like about the Jomo Audio Nautilus. When it comes to the treble, well, since it's using the planars for the treble response, and it is, as you could see from the graph and from whatever I'm hearing, whatever it does say in the graph is true, it is on the little bit of the harsh side. So if you were to use any other tracks which were not, lossless tracks, if it's something that you have mastered on your own, it is highly unforgiving. I tried to use some songs which are recorded on an FM radio. There were some old songs of mine I was playing in a Jomo Audio, and guess what? It was really bad. I mean, the high ranges were shown very much. It was showing any of the imperfections and in higher level of magnitude. So do be careful with that. It is unforgiving in terms of the treble responses and in terms of any imperfections which are present in the song. So with all that said, what kind of rating would I give it? Well, in terms of my experience as a bass head lover, I would say that this would fulfill the bass head's dream of being an exciting IEM. I was a little bit put back because I was expecting so much from the bass response from the BCD, but when it comes down to it, that BCD response was in the mid-range, and the bass is to my liking. So with all that said, if I put it all together, I would happily give this a 4 out of 5 stars. So this will be my review for the Jomo Audio Nautilus. Do let me know what you think about the Nautilus if you're having it in the comments below. And as always, if you do like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I don't know. This is Joe. I will see you in the next review. Peace.